If you're a true Liverpool fan, subscribe to Anfield Signal. 9 players at risk of missing Sunderland vs Liverpool as injury crisis takes hold. Liverpool will be without several key players for the team's Premier League clash against Sunderland, with Dominic Szoboszlai suspended, but Joe Gomez potentially returning from injury. Both Liverpool and Sunderland will be missing key players for the Premier League showdown on Wednesday. The Reds are set to journey to the Stadium of Light to take on the newly promoted side, aiming to rebound from their weekend loss. Arne Slot's players suffered a 2-1 defeat at the hands of Manchester City in their last outing, a match that also saw Dominic Szoboszlai receive a red card in the dying seconds. Szoboszlai will now serve a suspension and will be absent for Liverpool's encounter with Sunderland, joining several other players who won't make the matchday squad. Liverpool will also be without Alexander Isak, who is still on the mend from a fractured fibula and ankle injury he sustained back in December. Jeremy Frimpong is another absentee for Liverpool, as the right-back recovers from a thigh injury that has kept him out of the last 2 Premier League fixtures against Newcastle and Man City. Joe Gomez could potentially be available for Liverpool, having missed the last 2 matches due to an injury he picked up in the loss to Bournemouth last month. Slot confirmed his hopes of having Gomez back in training on Tuesday, but it remains uncertain whether the defender will be fit to face Sunderland. "Joe hasn't trained with us yet," Slot confirmed on Tuesday. "I'm expecting him today for the first time." Indeed, if Joe is not ready to start, then we are missing 4 players that have played in that position, right back. But Curtis, Jones, and Wataruendo have played in this position, so we've had 6 different right fullbacks this season. Liverpool will also be without long-term absentees Giovanni Leone and Connor Bradley, who are both anticipated to remain unavailable for the remainder of the campaign. Sunderland will likewise have several players missing for the encounter with Liverpool, including forward Bertrand Traoré and midfielder Granit Xhaka. Traoré continues his rehabilitation from a knee injury, while Xhaka has been absent for the previous 3 Premier League fixtures with an ankle problem. Both players are anticipated to miss the fixture against Liverpool, as will January acquisition Jocelyn Tabai, who has yet to make his debut for the club owing to an ankle injury. Liverpool hero admits he cried after manager revealed the club's transfer plans. The ex-Liverpool star was moved to tears by what he was told by club bosses. Former Liverpool captain Jordan Henderson once broke down in tears after learning he was no longer wanted at the club. Liverpool meet Henderson's previous side, Sunderland, on Wednesday evening, with the Reds having paid nearly £20 million to secure the midfielder from the Black Cats in 2011. Henderson, 35, turned out 492 times for Liverpool over 12 seasons. He departed in 2023 with numerous trophies to his name, having also had spells in Saudi Arabia with Al Ettifaq and in the Netherlands with Ajax. He has now returned to the Premier League with Brentford. Yet Henderson's career trajectory could easily have taken a vastly different path, had he accepted former Liverpool manager Brendan Rodgers' proposal to depart the club ahead of the 2012-13 season. With Wales international Joe Allen brought in by Rodgers and Steven Gerrard and Lucas Leiva positioned above him in the hierarchy, Henderson was told that the club were prepared to part with him. "I can remember it like it was yesterday," Henderson previously told Rio Ferdinand on BT Sport. "It was just before we played Hearts at Anfield, and we had a game on the night. I had a conversation with Brendan at the hotel the day of the game, and to be fair to Brendan, he sort of gave me the option. It was more the club that was willing to let me go. Brendan said, 'Listen, it's down to you, you're not going to be starting as much as what you'd have liked, but I'll try to help you improve on what I need you to improve on. You're still young, and if you do that then maybe you get more game time as time goes on.' So basically I went back to my room, cried a little bit and was devastated really, but from that moment on I just tried to. It wasn't really an option for me to leave, because I hadn't been at the club very long, and I'd worked extremely hard to get there." Henderson chose to remain in battle for his position in the team. "I said straight away, listen, I ain't going anywhere, I'll do everything I can to get in your team and I'll prove people wrong," he recalled. "From that moment, every day in the gym I give everything, every day on the training pitch I give everything. Just focus on myself, how I can improve, how I can be better. Brendan helped us a lot tactically, and I really think back then I could improve a lot tactically. I was good at box-to-box, I was very physical and decent technically, but the tactical elements I wasn't really taught that much, especially of what Brendan wanted. He brought me into his office, sat me down, showed what he wanted us with and without the ball. I felt that helped massively, helped me understand football even more, and from that moment on, I just grew in confidence as time went on. Henderson put in the effort, and he ultimately inherited the Liverpool captaincy in July 2015. He took over from club legend Steven Gerrard, who departed for LA Galaxy. Throughout his spell on Merseyside, Henderson became an integral part of Jurgen Klopp's midfield. With the Reds, the England international secured the Premier League title, featured in 3 Champions League finals, lifting the trophy once, and won 2 League Cups, an FA Cup, the FIFA Club World Cup and the UEFA Super Cup. Arne Slot be warned, massive cost of Champions League failure laid bare. Liverpool are in danger of missing out on the Champions League. Finishing in the top 5 is likely to be good enough to make it through to European football's top competition next season, but there are no guarantees that the Reds will even make it that high. Defeat to Manchester City at the weekend leaves the defending Premier League champions in 6th, with only 6 wins on the board since September in the top flight. They are 4 points off Chelsea in 5th at present and will need to pay attention to Brentford, Everton and Sunderland, who are just behind them in the table. The financial impact of missing out on the Champions League will be huge. It's believed the club set a minimum expectation of re-qualifying for the tournament for the 2025-26 season. A summer spending spree of £450 million meant Arne Slot would have lots of new players to integrate, and it's fair to say he hasn't yet found a formula. The Dutchman hasn't been helped by injuries, but there will be no excuses come May if Liverpool fail to make it into the top 5 at the very least. Liverpool have already earned around £83.8 million thanks to participation in this season's Champions League, with the winners set to bank around £115 million before television and coefficient money is doled out. Having spent so much last summer, and with the highest wage bill in English football, the Anfield side cannot afford failure. And a report in Football Insider now suggests that Slot's job hinges on qualification for the Champions League. Under contract until 2027, we could see Richard Hughes make a change in the dugout if the under-fire head coach fails to hit that significant financial milestone. The Liverpool board are set to place a serious question mark over Arne Slot's future if they fail to qualify for the Champions League, the report reads. The Reds' minimum expectation for this season was a top 4 finish after a heavy summer spend, and failure to secure Champions League football next term would provide a huge financial blow. Liverpool last missed out on the Champions League back in the 2022-23 season, widely seen as one of Jurgen Klopp's worst campaigns in charge. That blew a £100 million black hole in the club's finances, and it's taken them a while to recover. Having spent big last summer and with more signings required, they quite literally cannot afford a repeat. Arne Slot makes Luis Diaz admission as he brands Liverpool transfer judgment unfair. Arne Slot was asked about Luis Diaz, the former Liverpool forward now in fantastic form for Bayern Munich, in the embargoed section of his Liverpool press conference. Arne Slot believes it is unfair to pass judgment on Liverpool's revamped forward line given the lengthy absence for much of the season of British record signing Alexander Isak. Despite notching 21 times in their last 7 games in all competitions, the Reds have overall struggled to match their goal-laden form of last season's Premier League when they were top scorers on the way to the title. Their tally of 40 from 25 top-flight games is 20 fewer than they had managed at this stage last term, with 5 other clubs having netted more times in the top flight this campaign. While £79 million Hugo Ekitike has impressed with 15 goals in 33 outings, Isak has been limited to just 3 in 16 appearances, having suffered a number of fitness concerns, the most recent of which saw him break his leg at Tottenham Hotspur before Christmas. Mohamed Salah has experienced an alarming drop in output with a mere 6 goals this season, only one of which has come since November, while Cody Gakpo has struggled to make a consistent impact on the left. Gakpo's form has prompted several observers to question the £65.5 million summer sale of Luis Diaz to Bayern Munich, where the Colombian winger has managed 18 goals and 14 assists in 30 games, having delivered 25 goal contributions for Liverpool last season. And asked if Liverpool were missing Diaz, Slot said, "You always miss good football players. He was so important for us last season, but he wasn't the only one. There were more players that were influential in our results. But I think we have replaced them with very good players as well. It is maybe more fair to say that if Alex had been fit, would we have spoken about it then as well?" Slot added, "Luis Diaz is another example of how this club is run. If this club gets for a 28-year-old an offer like that, then this club, because it is built on sustainability, chooses to sell a player, and we are an exception in the Premier League, especially at the top of the Premier League, for that. But that is why it is also so nice that we are able to achieve the things we have achieved in the last few years with that model. But he is doing very well at Bayern, and that is not a surprise to me.